morning, everybody. John McGivern joining me today. How are you, John?
Hey, Tiff, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, where are you at? Because I know you're not at home right now.
Well, I'm kind of at a summer home. You know, I'm up in the chain of lakes on Taylor Lake in a family cottage, and it's about 6 miles from the cottage that we spent every summer of our youth. So it's like coming home is what it's like.
That's really cool. You know, I feel like I'm going up north this weekend to the chain of lakes, actually, to Cranberry Lake area. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like that's kind of the staycation of the summer. You know, everybody's enjoyed, you know, trying to get away if they can and go up north at least and get outdoors.
Well, it should have been, you know, we had a trip to Mexico planned. We had a trip to Vegas planned, and we should have been going in 2 weeks. We're going to be hosting a river cruise in the south of France. But of course, during this age of pandemic, all of that was canceled. But the fact that we've spent some time up at this cottage this summer has been, you know, I'm telling you, it's been as good as any of that. It's been relaxing, and we've read a lot of books, and we're sitting in a beautiful cottage on a lake, and like, you know, this is very Wisconsin.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, me
hey,
too.
You know, this is interesting. A lot of people see you in stage shows and all the different shows you do around town. What has it been like now for you as an actor? Because stage shows are pretty much done at this time.
You know, there are 3 areas that I work in. I work on the stage in public performances. I do a lot of corporate jobs, which are live as well. And then I do a TV show for Milwaukee PBS. And all of that has been either delayed or canceled.
Yeah.
So since March 3rd was the last job I had for 6.5 months, I've really done mostly cleaning and dusting and taking everything out of every drawer in our condo in downtown Milwaukee. I'm a really good organizer. And the fact that I was mostly organized before this all started, there wasn't really much to organize. So it's been interesting, 6.5 months. And when you look back and think, oh, the good old days, when the good old days were 7 months ago, it's been very odd and very sort of like humbling. This pandemic has been.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. With the career that you've had, Emmys out, you know, just rolling in your door all the time. I mean, it's very true.
Yeah, my partner Steve is up here, and his 2 sisters are here from Door County. So, you know, 3 times yesterday, I caught myself saying to them, I got to get back to work. I mean, I really have to get back to work. So I'm hoping the day comes when whatever the new normal looks like, that I'm able to stand on a stage with people, you know, sitting in an audience, and I'm able to share the stuff that I do when I stand on a stage. I'm just hoping that day comes.
Oh, and I know it will. You know, one thing I think that you're being creative, you're doing all these different cool things, and doors open. You and I are both a big fan. You've been way more involved, you know, than I have. I'm just a participant over the years.
Yeah.
But that's something that, you know, a lot of people are going to miss, is that sort of walking tour around town, but you're giving a tour of sorts because you're really involved in it.
I am. I have been involved since, you know, I think they've been going for 11 years.
Yeah.
And for the last 10, I have been giving a tour. We call it the tour, living life in a hotel, because I live at the Knickerbocker downtown. And so I'm giving a tour of my neighborhood, which is Yankee Hill in downtown Milwaukee. And I give a tour of our building, what it's like to live in a hotel. And it's a tour of 4 of the condos, because people are always a little confused. They're always like, so wait, you live in a hotel? And they presume it's like in a hotel room.
Right.
But I live in this building that was built in the 1920s, and it was built for the people who came to vacation or to spend time by the cool lake. So I live in a space that's just about 3,000 square feet in this residential hotel. And I give a tour of all of that. So it's fun. And people should go to historicmilwaukee.org just to figure out, that's my home that they're looking at right now, in fact.
That's cool.
So people should figure out how they can get on that tour, because it's going to be on September 30th. And then we're doing a question and answer period after, a Zoom question and answer with people who join me on my tour.
That's great.
I'm glad to be involved.
Well, absolutely. I'm just glad that there's stuff still going on with it too, because I think Doors Open is one of my favorite events of this time of year, where you get to learn so much about Milwaukee history and see the beautiful buildings. I've joked with friends. I was like, you know what? People travel around the world to see the kind of buildings that we have right in Milwaukee. The history here, our town is so incredible. Our architecture, our buildings are so beautiful. And you and I both share Yankee Hill area as home. So it's fun. I'm excited to watch you.
I could yell your name and you could hear me from my house.
I know, it's so true. It's so true. Okay, I got a question for you because this has to do with our sound off today, and I think it's really funny.
Okay.
So, okay, here's the statistic is 40% of happily married women can't remember this about their relationship, and the answer is where their first date is. So I'm wondering, do you or does Steve remember where your first date was? Because you guys have been together for how long?
It's almost 18 years.
18 years. Do you remember where
Yeah.
your first date was?
Vividly. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Really?
You know, we met at what's now the Metro Market. He's a contractor and he was working on a job in town. And I met him at what was then Kohl's food store. So I met him there and we chatted. And then the next night he gave me his number and I called him and we went. It was June and we went to the festival. What's the French festival downtown?
Bastille
we went
Days.
to Bastille Days. We walked through Bastille Days the next night, and the fact that I have been doing stage work for a few years, and I'm on WKLH. So many people are like, "Hey, John," and Steve was like, "You know a lot of people." Kind of.
And
that was our
Bastille Days
first
is
date.
so romantic. I love that. That's a
Yeah,
great story. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's our sound off for today. I want to thank you for joining me this morning. The sound off is where did you and your significant other have your first date? So in honor of that cool story and so many that I'm looking forward to hearing. Thanks for joining us, John.
You're the best, Tiff. Good seeing you.
Good to see you too. Can't wait to see you on performing again, whether on TV or on the stage or wherever.
Thanks, Tiff.
You bet.